does now mow. Things do now grow. Tangents now soar.
This is a full-on show panel. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Happy New Year's. First of all, Happy New Year's to everyone who is here. It has been 5 days, 5 very, very interesting days since the start of 2026. It is safe to say that we have started with an absolute bang of assaults, and we are going to talk about this today. I am Helzo, this is DiscussThing's, and you are here for Tangent Kings, the Monday show from the network, which has shows every day. It exists solely to entertain and to talk and to discuss and to have things that are here to be talked about and to not have anything be missed, because we are here. We still haven't been kidnapped. We're still on YouTube. We still have our channels, and we are grateful for everyone. This is episode 18 episodes. We're now
legal
Europe. Yeah, we're legal in Europe, and we can drink in Europe. Although, sorry about the United States, you're gonna have to wait 3 more episodes, but it's coming. It's coming. Before we continue, I just want to say something. 18 episodes in, and basically closing and opening a new year. It has been a pleasure with all of you, with the guests and with the regulars. It has been a pleasure. I just wanted to say this before we continue, because it is a thing that we do. We take the time of our day, and we have people that also take the time of their day to come watch us and comment and possibly support our streams with a green, orange, red, or purple donation. Wink, wink. Well, anyways, with that said, I would like to say hi, first of all, to the glorious chat, to the dignified cartoon gentleman, to Cancel This Podcast, who came here to talk about especially the first 2 topics that are very interesting for him. Welcome to Roger, who is also on the panel, and he's also going to talk about these things very vividly. Welcome to Galaxy Red. Thank you for being here as well. Welcome to Sabr. It's a pleasure to have you here as our special guest. Slavery Game is here, and he's doing this, and that means that he's also enjoying his time here. Man of Gooning, the man who is changing his nickname more often than I change my cats. Saint Hugo is also here, which is amazing. And JJJ is here. Whoa, haven't seen you in a while, man. Thank you very much for being here. And Just a Quiet Peaceful Dance, as well as Equilibrium. Oh, Mustafa is back. Yes, he is. We're not letting him go. Thank you all in the chat for being here. Thank you for taking, again, the time for me today of your day to come and listen to us. And with this said, I would like to move to our panelists, the glorious panelists that also work tirelessly to bring you the entertainment that you're all here for. Next to me is the co-host of this show and the organizer of all of this madness, the dignified cartoon gentleman with an improved 2026 look. How are you, good sir?
Mustafa made this for me, and I'm very grateful that he did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure everything will go
you got the nose
very well.
Perfect.
And hopefully for 2026, I won't have to conduct any special operations to keep any of you in line. Okay, I don't want to do that. Any of you. Okay. I don't want to lock any of you up or put any of you on trial. I appreciate all of you. Okay. It's great to see Venezuela below me. It's great to see Denmark and Iraq or Iran, move a letter.
Well, can we get the $7,000, Digny?
No.
Damn.
You ain't getting $7 from me. Never mind 7,000. Okay.
You see, 5 days in and we're already making deals. We're taking from
guys.
Some, very mighty people.
Come on, guys. You can defraud America of $18 billion a year and not get touched. But if you dance a little bit too much like the president, you're getting fucking captured, okay?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Now on to Roger, who, well, he's no longer a pizza delivery boy anymore. He's got a better job now. But how have you been, Roger, since we last had a good talk?
I mean, I can't really complain all that much. Finally left my hellhole pizza delivery job, and now I'm going into the one industry that's going to be blowing up here relatively soon, the oil industry.
Oh, my God.
Wait, so you're working at a gas station then?
Boy, did you pick the right time to do that. I hear it's expanding rapidly.
So I know one person on this panel I'm going to disagree with on the second topic, for obvious reasons. But thank you for that, Roger. Galaxy, how have you been since we last had a good talk?
Been okay, I guess. I had a little problem on Saturday, getting the stream. So, but other than that, we're good. So, I'm going back to what I got to do.
Selling blood to pay for your computer?
So what now?
Selling blood to pay for your new computer?
Oh, I could probably have to.
Do people really do that?
Yes. You could sell plasma right up the street here. I've never done it, but I know some people who have.
Yeah, we don't do it around here. I was just going with the joke.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It's like, we want your blood, literally blood for money.
It's blood money.
Where does all this blood go, perchance? Why does it say Tel Aviv on the box? But on that note, we got to start 2026 strong. The 250th anniversary of the United States. Of course, we're going to declare war on everyone. It's in our blood and soil. Isn't that right, Jose? How have you been?
I've been hanging in there. I'm here again with you guys for the first hour. You know, first Monday of the new year is the busiest. So I've been running around doing a lot of things, but I was able to be here, and I'm happy to be here for these first two rather controversial topics. And then after that, I'm going to have to do, and don't laugh, Digny, I'm gonna have to do what us Hispanics do: yard work. And because of the fact that everyone in my family is freaking dead, except for my mother, she gets to hold the ladder while I do the yard work. So instead of me kicking her down the stairs for kick views, she might kick the ladder out from under me while I'm there and collect an insurance check.
She's holding the ladder, but because of her arthritis.
That is crazy.
Is there a
dead
kick
than
platform
alive.
for old people?
Yeah.
Like where they abuse their grandchildren?
They always abuse me. They got these things right over here. Right over here. They got these things. They love to hit you with these.
The Chalankas.
Yeah.
It could be worse, Jose.
This is the ultimate weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It could be worse. You could be the leader of a Latin American country. Mustafa, how have you been since we last had a good talk?
I've been crazy busy. I like, especially last month, insane, and now it's like going from one crazy job, and then now I got nothing, but at least another one's going to start up soon. I'm going to be teaching graphics design pretty soon, so at least it's something. But yeah, just busy. Nice. So that's basically my life right now.
Good, very good. It's always nice to keep busy, because once you get bored, you go insane, right? I mean, greatest
at least busy pays bills,
or you visit other countries.
No, seriously, you get so bored, you might just defraud your home country of $18 billion. Or you get so bored, it's like, how about I capture a foreign leader for the lols? Yeah, how about that? There are two other topics, folks. GOG going private, and the Chinese making an anti-Japanese game a topic that no one else in our circles will cover because you're all bitch made for the Nippons, okay? You're all bitch made for the Jap. That's what they call themselves, Nippon. No, all right then. But now for the first topic, folks. Let's talk about fraud, okay? Let's talk about the country that is robbing America blind, and it isn't Israel. 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry. If I can have cancel this podcast videos on YouTube with Jose literally dropping the N-word, then we can talk about, other sensitive issues.
Oh, boy.
I had to edit that out though. 2.1 is tolerance fails with mass Somali fraud. Now, I've talked a little bit about this before. Things have developed since Helzo made this a topic for today's show. Including the fact that Governor Tim Walz, the guy who becomes friends with school shooters, now is not running for re-election. Boy, gee golly, I wonder why. But Helza, why don't you provide some context for those who haven't really heard a lot about this situation?
Well, if you have not been keeping up with the news, this is something that I was very surprised that actually happened. Not because it is happening like the fraud, but it was discovered by one Nick Shirley, who is an independent journalist. Like, independent journalism is currently on the rise because of him in the last few days. It's going to continue to be on the rise, and this is probably going to show everyone, every sensible person out there, to stop watching mainstream media, and not just in the United States. This is going to be everywhere. Independent journalism is the way. Yes, you can have people who are independent journalists do weird stuff and do what was it, fluff pieces or just hot takes just for attention. But in general, when you have someone who is independent, who is not under the thumb of a network or a broadcasting company or something, they have more freedom. They have. I knew you were gonna say that. But when you're independent and when you operate primarily on your resources and your freedom to do and to go to the paths that you want to go in the attempt to discover the truth, that's how you actually get to the truth. And this is what Nick Shirley did. He defrauded, like he discovered a massive organization, from what I've read, a massive organization in Minnesota that basically, first of all, doesn't even operate on what they're trying to say they're operating. They don't have children in these daycare facilities. They don't operate there. Most of them don't speak English, and they're basically just laundering money through the system. They have found a way through some means. And now that this has stopped, and it was discovered that, some people from the left are going to say, well, we have known about this and we have been investigating this for years. Years! How many years do you need? This guy did it in 2 days. He just went to the centers. He saw there's nothing there, and he was like, yeah, this is fraud. How many years do you need to go and have 2 eyes popping in? Okay, no, there's no one here. There's some weird people there. So 2 days, guys. Like this
69 years. They need 69 years, ladies and gentlemen, for obvious reasons. But since we only have Jose for about it's 45 minutes now, because we want to keep the show to about 2 hours. Okay, we'll get Jose's perspective on all this folks. Go ahead.
Yeah, I ended Tim Walz, and here's the thing about it. Like was just said by Helzo, which is hilarious and sad. It's not like this just came out of nowhere. They were aware of this. They were aware of this when they decided this man. And by the way, it wasn't Kamala Harris's decision alone. It was the DNC's decision. Tim Walz is going to be your vice presidential candidate for the party. The whole party knew this. This isn't just Minnesota. This is happening in Ohio. It's happening in Pennsylvania. The whole tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, every blue state, every blue city. This is going on. Look, you know what really pisses me off the most about it? That I'm in the wrong freaking line of work. I work 3 jobs. I'm a content creator. I'm barely able to pay my bills. And you know what? Here you go, guys. Here, I asked Grok to fix my learning disability, which is clearly a learning disability instead of a leering disability. This is Somalian.
Why you look like Kanye West?
Apparently, this is Somali me.
You look
So-
like you have
That's
baby
not-
oil
that
in
is-
your closet.
I think it's
I
too
like
handsome.
how it turned the screen to say Final Fantasy in the background for literally no reason.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say that's a little too handsome for Somali.
Like that.
The head is cashew shaped enough. All right, it's just they actually gave me hair to cover the Jacobian head. But I mean, the problem is for me, and this is what pisses me off as somebody who was born here, raised here, lived here all my life. I've been dating the same woman for 10 years. I'm not married to her. Why? Because I'm poor. Why don't I have kids? Because I'm poor. But, you know, meanwhile, I'm not living the American dream. I'm having to take care of my 73-year-old mom. Meanwhile, these Somalis come in here and they're living like kings. They've got 2 Jeeps, 3 houses. Guy gets on TV. He's wearing a $1,200 pair of glasses. You know how much my pair of glasses costs? I have
Not even
no
$12.
idea because I can't afford a new eye exam. All right. This jackass comes on TV. Again, $2,000 glasses, $150 shirt. Well, we don't know where the records are. Conveniently, someone broke in last night and busted a hole in the wall, and they took all the records. Yeah, you mean you don't keep anything on computer anymore?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we believe you, pal. This is the most ridiculous thing that we've seen, and one of the things that I will say is that I do wish that our government that says, oh, we're on it, guys, 0 arrests for any Democrats so far. I'd like to believe you, but the track record says no. Great, you went, you deposed the guy from a country, which we'll talk about later. Absolutely, but where's that same energy to get every last Somali cashew head out of my country so that I could make that kind of money? I don't even need their money. I need maybe a fourth of that money. Can't do it, guys. Can't do it.
The U.S. has arrested more foreign leaders than they have Democrat operatives.
Exactly.
The U.S. have arrested more foreign leaders than Somali fraudsters. Okay,
Listen, these people have an IQ, and I'm not. Hey, YouTube, you can fact check this. I'm not saying anything against these people. They have an average IQ of 69. There is no way that
And that
this
is
was
why
their idea themselves. All right.
Dash was so terrified when I was telling people that. It's like, look, Dash, I know it's more dangerous for us to talk about this than to defraud the American taxpayer of
Yep.
$18 billion a year.
He's
I
just
know
nervous.
that.
He's nervous because your mentor got deplatformed for a word. In all consolation, they can't even invent spears in Somalia.
I just want to share that when I was doing the edits for the stream and just adding tags and stuff like that to the description, tags for this topic were non-existent, and I find it a little bit hard to believe, given the amount of reach this story has. So I don't know how safe it is for us to talk about this, but I don't care because
Look,
it's funny.
man. Look,
Yeah.
look. It's very simple. It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Talking about this is very dangerous, which is why we should all become Somali fraudsters.
Listen. It's not that hard to be a Somali fraudster. Ask Grok; he'll make an avatar for you, like he did for me. But I'll say this: Nick Shirley's done more journalism in a week than Candace Owens has done in 6 months.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
with a name
journalism
like-
should be.
with a name like Nick Shirley, because in Europe, certainly in the Anglosphere in Europe, a man being called Shirley is not a good look. But we'll get Roger, Galaxy, and Mustafa's perspective, because I really want to spend a lot of time talking about our second topic in particular. So, Roger, what do you make of cashew nuts defrauding the United States?
I mean, am I surprised it's been going on? No, because that's the whole thing that has been going on ever since, not even during Biden's time, but also primarily during the time when Obama was in charge with getting all these people in here. So they have set the building blocks for this to happen. And I'm not going to say anything about Trump not doing anything in this first term, because people were guardrailing him to where he couldn't really get anything accomplished during his first term as president. But again, like how you mentioned before, how we have seen more arrests over foreign leaders on our side than any of these Somalian fraudsters, not just Somalian, but just any of these fraudsters in general, is just absolutely asinine, just due to the fact it's like, this is shit that is happening in our country. How about we focus on getting this shit taken care of so that the people who actually do live in this country can actually start getting a livable wage. That way, Jose, he can finally marry his girlfriend, get some kids going around. He can put his mom in an old folks home or have her move in with dignity.
We'll send her to Canada so they can finish the job. But in all seriousness, the precedent is set, folks. Trump makes Minnesota an independent country solely that he can airstrike Minneapolis, capture Tim Walz, and arrest all the Somali fraudsters, and then Minnesota becomes American again. Is that because the precedent is set now, right? If you can do that for Venezuela, do it for California, do it for Minnesota, do it to New York City, do it, just make them independent for a few hours and then pull a Maduro on them. You have that precedent. Damn, you're going to war with fucking everyone. You might as well just do it that way, Mr. President.
Yeah, because it is astounding that, well, first of all, it's really astounding that Tim Walz was almost our vice president. And thinking about that terrifies me on how the country would look a year if Kamala had won. That is terrifying to think of. But it's also just due to the whole entire thing that we see all this stuff going around and everything, yet these people have not been held accountable for the shit that they've been doing. It's like, yeah, Tim, you're not going to be running and everything because a YouTuber exposed you for the piece of shit that you are. How about we actually do the thing of, hey, you were in charge of all this? Yeah, you're going to prison.
Yeah, they should get rid of him. I've got a picture. Grok has a image of Tim Walz getting arrested by the Trump regime. So how do you do, fellow gamers? I am Tim Walz. I play a lot of video games. Vote for me.
He's playing Reloot. He's playing Reloaded.
My God, Dr. Disrespect has gotten real old real quick. But
Jason, I recommend that you make an image of Tim Walz sharing a prison cell with P. Diddy, and they just got crates of baby oil.
Tim Walz.
While we pull that up, Galaxy, what do you make of this whole situation?
Yeah, I've talked about this kind of before, but all this stuff with the Somali stuff with the daycare. I mean, I'm glad that Dick Shirley actually was able to like figure that out, because obviously it should have been an obvious thing, because I mean, if it's been, there's like no one like out there that actually like all the paperwork and stuff is not there, and then and then like no, and then everyone else just didn't really do anything to it. So it's just like the other like media, whatever, just like didn't find anything and everything. And it's kind of funny because it's like, I just think it, but this, that's just how it works. So
I asked Grok to show me Tim Walz, Diddy, and Maduro in the same jail cell throwing baby oil on each other, and this is what it came back with instead.
Oh no.
I don't even know what that is.
That's
Tim Walz looks like Kevin James.
It looks like a really poor jail cell. It's got the bars.
And this looks like NES box art from the 80s.
Diddy looks almost like Richard Pryor.
I was gonna say he looks like Steve Harvey with hair.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
or a mix of Steve Harvey and Richard Pryor.
Apparently, you can get hair plugs in prison thanks to this Tim Walz.
Yeah, I
I'm
see it too.
sorry.
He almost got hair.
I'm sorry,
he's
ladies
younger.
and
A lot younger, it looks like.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that's going to be the overarching theme for this episode. The precedent is set, Mr. President. If you can arrest a foreign leader based on nebulous information, then why don't you carpet bomb Minneapolis the same way you carpet bomb Caracas? Huh? Or is the death of 80 American lives too much for your conscience? What about you, Mustafa, to tie this first topic in a bow? What do you make of
Well,
this Somali fraud?
I mean, how much time I got? This is
A few minutes.
okay. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. It's a psyop. So before this news came out, like I'm listening to this other guy, Jackson Hinkle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not. I like him.
I've heard of him. Yeah,
so
I've
I'm
heard
listening to him. He's talking about the stuff that's going on in Somaliland. For those who don't know what Somaliland is, it's a small portion, like a tiny part of Somalia on the north that basically governs itself. And Israel decided to be the first country to recognize Somaliland as a country. Yeah, it's joined the Abrahamic. Basically, the three things that Somaliland had to do to be recognized by Israel is one, join the Abraham Accords. Two, allow for Israel to displace Palestinians into Somaliland. Send them over there. Just dump them over there. And three, allow them to use the airspace and stay over there. So I knew something was up from the get-go, but then I saw this video by James Lee. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Lee is L-I. His channel is called 5149. Check him out if you're not familiar with him. I'm trying to be as brief as possible because I know we're short on time.
That's all right. That's all right.
Basically, he has a really good video explaining all of the dots that are connecting and how this doesn't make any sense with what's the other guy's name? The one who revealed this?
Nick Shirley.
Shirley.
He's connected with the Zionist party. And he wasn't actually the one who revealed this. It was Mossad who revealed it before him. And also the money that's been taken by the Somalians is $100 million, which is a lot of money, but it's only a tiny portion of the $9 billion that was announced previously. So where's the other 8.9 billion? So it's just one huge psyop. I really recommend going to see James Lee's work on connecting all the dots. But I mean, as you guys were saying, the Somalians didn't come up with it themselves. And the funny thing is, Digny, you're saying that Israel wasn't siphoning the money. Maybe it is, but there's
the last
definitely more to
remember,
it.
AIPAC creases both sides of the political aisle, and about 35% of that money goes back into the Democrat Party.
Yeah,
that the Somalians were taking.
The last time I heard Somaliland in the discourse, the British gave Somaliland to the Italians because it was so shit.
It just sounds like an amusement park where women aren't amused. They are other things done to them.
Oh dear.
I mean, I definitely believe that this is a psyop because this story got so astroturfed that I'm seeing video game channels talk about this. It's this has zero connection with video games, and I'm seeing video game channels talking about it. This is because I'm very convinced this is a psyop.
On that note, I'd love to press into this some more, folks, but unfortunately we do have limited time, which is a damn shame because this next topic could literally carry a show. In fact, for tomorrow's network show, this is probably the only thing we're going to talk about. Me and Alfie John.
Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
And Candace Owens is bound to come up. Alfie John has a hard-on for Candace Owens. He will deny it, especially because he does have a Jewish wife. But he will deny it. He should never have told me that. 32 minutes. and 15 seconds. Gives me enough time to say, if you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. If you do not donate, we will launch a special operation on your household and kidnap you. On that note, the second topic is the United States, the glorious United States of America, conducts a special operation, because that's what we're calling an invasion now, of Venezuela with the controversial capture of Nicolas Maduro. The man who started his career as a bus driver is now in chains. And it would be so funny if he actually walked, wouldn't it? And then be deported to Venezuela. But I personally think, folks, that this situation has set a very dangerous precedent, right? I said this before the show. I'm going to say it right here, right now. No country has been more vindicated by this than North Korea. Okay? A lot of people, rightfully, shit on the Democratic People's Republic of Korea for their litany of bad things. The one thing they have gotten right is their independent nuclear deterrent. Because with an independent nuclear deterrent, folks, you can just destroy your population, you can starve them, you can lock them up for eternity. See, look, it's so terrifying, the galaxy. He had to step away hearing that. And no fucking nation, not even the United States of America, can touch you, right? No Operation DPRK freedom for North Korea, because they've made it very clear. They've made it very clear for decades now. If you attack us, if you do anything to undermine us, we will fire a nuclear missile at you. And that would essentially destroy the world. Why? Because once you start firing them, they will never stop being fired until there is nothing left. Now, I saw this story breaking. I was just relaxing, folks. I was pulling an all-nighter because the night, it's cold, and I get to relax when it's cold at night. And I saw this news story breaking, and I could not believe my eyes. I'm thinking to myself, have we learned nothing in 25 years? Have we just learned nothing? Right? No more new wars. Oh, wait, it wasn't a war. It was a special operation. Is that what we're calling a conflict now? Tell the Russians what a special operation means. Well, to them, it means a 4-year fucking war fest. But to us, it's 2 hours of presidential capture and 80 people dead. That's what a special operation means. But I'd be inclined to get everyone's perspective, and usually I'd start off with Helzo, but since Jose has limited time, we might as well get his perspective first. Jose, what do you make of a country bombing the capital city of another country and capturing their head of state?
Well, at least they won't be eating those anymore, I hope. Because I actually do know Venezuelan people who are asylum seekers who left under Maduro. They were actually very wealthy until Maduro came into power. So that should tell you a lot of the situation there. So I can understand why Venezuelans are okay with it. Now, I understand where people sort of line up. And Mustafa actually had some great points on X about how a lot of this is also part of a greater psyop. Although I will say, I think that, one, it's great for the meme economy at the very least, as is the new Grand Theft Auto 6 box art, which I pulled up in the gallery here. This picture is going to be the most iconic thing.
Look, this could be legit, by the way. At this point, this could be legit.
It could.
Digny on the side, I said this a couple weeks ago, RIP to the first listener of Cancel This Podcast, Eric Martinez. Maduro looks like his dad. Maduro looks like his dad, which is just, I can't unsee it. But no, I mean, Maduro is not a nice guy by any means. And of course, the left was hammering home that Maduro needed to go. The infamous Joe Biden offering a $25 million bounty on Maduro. And it's not lost on me that this man has funded a lot of shit. Venezuela also puts out 40% of China's oil, which I think is one of the major factors in this. Additionally, I know that Maduro's put money in Bernie Sanders' bank account, AOC's bank account, Zohran Mamdani's bank account. If it's communist and it's in the United States, Maduro's probably bankrolled it. The biggest mistake Maduro made is 3 months ago, he said, "Come get me." You don't say "come get me" to anybody from New York, even though Donald Trump is a rich guy. He's still at heart a New Yorker. New Yorkers will take you up on that offer, all right? They like to fight. But I think the biggest problem with a lot of it is, of course, from an economy standpoint, and I will read verbatim because early trading happened, last night, and Chevron went up 10%. And my boss, who actually has money, unlike me, overnight trading has begun. I sent him that, and the stock already went up 10%. He says, and I quote, I'm quoting, this is not something I said, "Jews always beat everyone to the punch." That's from my boss. Because basically they already invested into the stock market, and the rest is history. But aside from this, I think the one standard that it has caused, and this is going to be the fun part, at least for me anyway, is, while some people would say that Bibi wanted this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he didn't want this, because it now sets a standard that all those countries that have an arrest warrant for Bibi now can take his ass out of there and be like, well, Trump, you started it when you took Maduro out. You set a new standard. That means it's totally okay for these countries. And I think it's something like 210 countries that if Bibi sets foot in, he would be subject to criminal prosecution from an international court standpoint. And now you've set the standard that these countries, if they choose to, could go grab Bibi in the middle of the night, take his wife, snatch him up in a plane, woo! And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Look, if it gives Bibi a couple sleepless nights that somebody may decide to do that to him now that Trump has done this, that would make me laugh my ass off. So we'll see what happens. I think this is a developing story, and I think things are going to get crazier, weirder. I think there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the South American bloc as a result of this. And, we're going to see what's going to happen, because now also Milei is sort of mobilizing to try to get South America more under control. But as Mustafa can attest to, Milei is also controlled by the Zionist bloc.
Exactly.
So that's also a bit of, and by the way, Milei, despite any sound bites that he made, which are great, sound bites are great, but they don't mean shit in the grander scheme of things. At the end of the day, we still needed to bail not Venezuela. We had to bail Argentina out for his government not to collapse. So it is kind of hypocritical, because it's sort of like we had to keep it going in one country, and we're toppling another. But that being said, the people of Venezuela don't like Maduro either.
And that's the thing we have to consider, folks. I mean, the last time a leader publicly threatened his friends and his foes, he shot himself in the head. Okay, that was a very long time ago. It's like,
Ben Shapiro said that head combusted on its own, all right? The Israelis had completely nothing to do with that. That head exploded on its own.
I was talking about Hitler, but
I was talking about JFK.
I wasn't talking about JFK. But there are so many examples.
Oh, this is great.
Not the
great,
same
guys.
page, not even the same book. You guys are on completely different planets.
Not even the same bullet. But I will make it clear, right? This is a great example of it. Trump has recently, over the past day or two, since the special operation to capture Nicolas Maduro, because he's no longer president, Trump has publicly threatened Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, Iran, and guess who? Is it North Korea? Is it China? Is it Turkmenistan, which is the North Korea of Central Asia? No, it's Denmark. What the fuck is going on?
Greenland is a strategic point. So
This is a rogue game of civilization.
yeah, basically. No, it's basically Rise of Nations, and one country has nuclear weapons while a lot of other countries are still in the caveman period. But speaking of setting an example and a precedent and changing the game, this is from Bulgarian news website. Just translated it to English. Just gonna read something. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said he could imagine kidnapping operations of other world leaders similar to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela by the US, naming German Chancellor Friedrich Merz among them. This is like, okay, you can do it, we can do it better. I'm going to show you how Russia kidnaps and it better than you.
Yeah, they try to kidnap the German leader, and then Russia's in another 5-year conflict against Russia. I mean, Germany. Oh, goodness me.
I mean,
go on, Elza.
I mean, look, let's take the two things. On one hand, yeah, you have the official position, you have the drug traffic and stuff like that, and that's, I said something before the show. I want to see how that actually affects what's happening in the United States. If this actually results in what they're saying it should result in, like diminishing the drug traffic and stuff like that, because this is the main thing. Like, just they're drug traffickers and they need to be put down because they're harming the United States. All right, we'll see what happens in a few months. Now, threatening other countries leads to a whole different ballgame, because I'm reading it and I'm like, all right, so you're basically adding states now. You're just adding more states. You just want more states.
Can we do this one next?
I brought up this comment. Oh, God.
I can tell you that a lot of people were in the United Kingdom are going to be like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
this is like reverse colonization.
Okay,
America colonize you.
Yeah, Keir Starmer. I'll tell you this, folks. Nicolas Maduro has better poll ratings than Keir Starmer. I'm not kidding. Maduro got 30% of the vote. Keir Starmer will be lucky to get 15% of the votes by the next election. And, you know, I wanted to bring up this comment from this fine gentleman. How is it controversial? Yes, of course. How is it controversial that a country attacked and kidnapped the head of state of a foreign country? How's that controversial? How is it? How is that controversial? Right? I can't wait for Israel to carpet bomb Washington, D.C. and kidnap President Trump the moment Trump recognizes a Palestinian state. No, that's not controversial at all. Kill 80 people. Yeah, we bombed a ship called the USS Liberty. That's not controversial. No. It's controversial.
It's not. It happened, so it must be talked about.
My goodness.
Having something being labeled as controversial is just trying to silence people.
No.
I will say my favorite part of the story is how the panic room failed to open when Maduro was running from these soldiers.
Maybe he bought it from Timu.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you buy from China, man. You get China quality.
Yep.
Exactly. But let's not ignore Roger and Galaxy. Roger, what do you make of all this?
So pretty much the only thing I can make from all this is just the fact that I'm somebody who doesn't actively pay attention to this stuff more on the political spectrum. I'm more somebody who focuses on like just pop culture and stuff like that, because that's the stuff that I'm generally interested in. The thing about all this is the fact that, yes, this is something that is just going to be seen no matter what. And all that I get got from it was the fact that we saw Trump do all this. We see the people of Venezuela celebrating the fact that they are no longer under the thumb of their dictatorship and all that. They are celebrating all that, and all I've also been seeing is that people upset over the fact of a country no longer being under the dictatorship are the people who want to bring essentially dictatorship into the U.S., aka liberals and Democrats and all that. They are the only ones that I've been seeing that are actively, visibly upset about it, to the point where I've seen plenty of Venezuelan people confronting these people, telling them, you don't know what it is to be in the situation that we are in. You act like that this is a terrible thing, that the people that's been dictating over us for so long is no longer in power. And that's what I like, is the fact that of seeing like people who actually did suffer from it confronted the people like, no, you just don't understand. Let me tell you how your life experience actually is.
True.
And I saw it with my own eyes, folks, when the Venezuelan authorities ran over protesters in armored cars. Man, that is crossing a goddamn red line on so many levels that quite frankly,
all Maduro's got to do is put on the mankini, and the left will defend him. I mean, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Why are you doing this to me?
When it comes to because no one, only Dash Attack's coming to that, but when it comes to nations, when it comes to nations and dealing with their tyrannies, whether we like it or not, a nation's people has to be the one to deal with their own nation's tyranny, right? Because the moment, and this is a clear principle, the moment a foreign power dethrones someone who is the strong man, the dictator, the tyrant, the moment a foreign power does that, the moment the precedent is set, where the only thing, might makes right, whether you're principled, unprincipled, whether you want to help people or you want to turn people into soap. You have essentially told the world that whoever has the strongest sword is correct. And that does not lead to a more peaceful and more prosperous or a more free world. That leads to a world where whoever has the biggest gun wins.
Well,
And
you're
that is
absolutely
a
right.
democracy. Democracies
absolutely
don't
right.
win under that situation. Go on.
You're absolutely right, Digny. But the thing is that this has always been the case. You just have a more direct example right now. This has always been the case. It being throughout history, democracy is something that we accept to a certain level, and that's also true for diplomacy and stuff like that. But when you want something, like when a country with the means to get something wants something and is ready to use what the country has to get something, then everything else doesn't matter. That's pretty much been the precedent in the entire evolution of the species, not just in humans, actually, like on a certain level.
You can make that narrative argument, Helzo. But last time I checked, Hitler never kidnapped a foreign state leader. Neither did Stalin.
No, he visited them.
Mao.
Me mom is a lampshade.
He just visited them.
Is a bar of
He
soap.
made the Tour de France and stuff like that popular.
It's so strange. Dictatorships take over and kidnap countries, whereas democracies just kidnap their leaders. It's such a 1984 topsy-turvy set of circumstances. And my biggest issue, right, as someone who is a nationalist, who believes in the nation and the people and the way of life, who has been pro-Western throughout his entire life, right? What I want to see is it's very clear. If it's okay for one nation and one people to do it, then it is okay for other nations and other peoples to do it. I know for a fact that if a foreign dictatorship captured any Western leader and put them on trial, the United States would carpet bomb that nation to fucking oblivion.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, because they
Except
have the
Vietnam,
means.
because they did that before and lost. But the point still stands. But I want to get Galaxy Red's perspective because I don't want him to be left out. So what do you make of all this?
About the Maduro stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've I don't really know too much about it really, but I
all right.
did see a little bit of what happened and everything, but I haven't been seen a lot of people saying like it's we're going to war or something like that. I was like, oh, what? What do you mean we're going to war? I don't see anything there for that, but I mean,
Yeah,
That's all
because
I really say.
because I've been seeing like the people that's been complaining about saying that you're going to war with Venezuela. It's like,
No,
can you explain how?
I have an image
Yeah,
that'll
I
get
mean,
Galaxy talking.
every people in everything I've
I'm
seen,
not
like
putting
all the
that
people
on.
in Venezuela are actually happy what happened. How are they going to war?
that was not me.
What the hell are you doing? Okay.
Not me,
He's-
Galaxy.
he could be your
I didn't do
dad.
this.
That's
He could
not
be
me
your
as
dad.
well.
Do that. I just want to make this as clear
Is that
as
because I wasn't
possible.
talking at all for a while? You just decided to put it on there.
No, it's Jose that did that. I had nothing to do with it.
I didn't say you. I was talking about Chase.
No, I was just thinking that there's a resemblance between your VTuber icon and Maduro, and I had to put two and two together, and that makes sense. He's your dad.
What?
He's your dad.
Oh, what the hell is it? What are you talking about?
Well, in all
That's lore building, and that's bad.
in all seriousness, though, we look at the narrative shift. We look at the fact that the consequences of this reverberate in terms of national policy, international policy, economic policy, social policy. It's getting to the point now, as I mentioned before, that the only way, whether you're America's friend or America's foe, the only way you will be a sovereign state is to have your own independent nuclear deterrent, which is independent of the United States, which means the nukes can't come from America. So Britain and France, you're fucked, because if you don't think the Americans have a back door to switch off your nukes, you're more naive than a Somali child, okay? Okay, it's as simple as
What
that.
will
See
Danny
I
Finkelstein
said?
think about this?
Yep. And look, if you
I'm unable to can at this moment.
all they've done is get rid of him. The regime's still there, the
Mhm.
infrastructure's still there, the military is still there. So
His
you
VP
can't
is already
recall-
taking control. His VP is already claiming control of the country now.
Yes, and if you want a fucking Vietnam on steroids, even if the government is unpopular, what better way to make a government or a regime popular than to invade it, shock and awe, and bomb the country to oblivion? People in Iraq, and I'm sorry to speak on behalf of Mustafa because he is an Iraqi American. What a mix that is, especially in this day and age. But in the aftermath of the invasion of Iraq, look at the legacy of that over 20 years on. Is Iraq in a better position than it was before? I don't know, but we're going to ask Mustafa and get his perspective on the whole situation. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So yeah, I do want to talk about Iraq. Before I get to that, though, I want to mention. So, like, you know, I follow a lot of video game people, like especially those that you guys are aware of them. I don't want to name any names because I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus or throw shade at specific people. But there's just a lot of them I follow who I feel like they have. Oh, someone's talking. Oh,
No, it's Galaxy Red. He forgot to
Okay.
mute his
I
mic.
think Mossad came to take Galaxy Red away to punish us.
Look, ordinarily, I'd be like, Mustafa, be quiet for a second, then we can all listen in on Galaxy and his family. But we are pressed for time, so go ahead, Mustafa.
Yeah. So like a lot of these people I'm following, I feel like they are so wanting Trump to be right, that they're throwing away logic just to like excuse what Trump is doing, because a lot of these people are old enough to remember what happened with Iraq. Like there has never been, as far as I know, like at least recent history, United States forcing a regime change never leads the country to becoming better. Like in Iraq, it is far worse than it is now than with Saddam. And Saddam, I'm not saying he was good. Definitely, he was a terrible person. My uncle was killed by him. Not personally killed, but he was assigned to be killed by him. Like I don't like Saddam at all. But under Saddam, Iraq had the best university in all of Middle East. Now Iraq is exactly what you see in the video games and the Call of Duties, all these war torn. It is exactly that now. And like rather than having one Saddam now, the complaint of Iraqis that I talk to that like live there right now, the complaint is that there's 1,000 Saddams now, and not just ISIS. Not just saying like, okay, ISIS is a group of people. It's these smaller like just warlords, groups, government officials, etc. Like it's just 1,000 Saddams rather than just one Saddam. So at least there was order with the chaos back then. Now it's even worse. And the point being is never when the United States does this, forcing a regime change, does it lead to progress. I mean, we look at who the United States wants to put in, and that is the Venezuelan opposition. What's her name? Maria Corina Machado, and she's just she was propped up by United States and Israel, and she's straight up a Zionist. And she straight up said, like, she put up a video, like right after the capture, she put up a video of herself telling Trump, saying, "We got so much oil, we got more oil than Saudi Arabia. Come to us for instead." So this is clearly about
pay to play
resources. Yeah, like they want the oil, they want the resources, and it's going to lead to Venezuela messing up in the long term. And also, all you Trump supporters who want, to get rid of immigrants, you got played. Now Venezuelan refugees got approved. Like this just happened. They got approved to come into the United States. Y'all got played.
It's so terrifying, guys. I mean, the consequences of this. There's a reason you don't do this. There, on so many levels, there's a reason you don't do this. I have supported Trump for over a decade, right? I'm 26 years old. I've supported the man for nearly half of my fucking lifetime, okay? And I'm telling you for a fact, this is the biggest mistake of his presidency. It's not even close, right? Venezuela will make Iraq look like a picnic. And that's not all, right? Are we going to attack Iran next, and Cuba, and Mexico, and taking Greenland? It's like, not even the Soviet Union at its height would do stuff as crazy as this. This is madness. It's so maddening that even dogs think it's insane.
I want to make one more point real quick about going back to what I was saying about like the Trump supporters, especially like the video game circles I'm following. And I see the major point that I keep on seeing a lot of these people bring up is that, the Venezuelans are celebrating, which, first of all, a lot of this is coming from bots on Twitter and AI videos, and even a video from Miami, etc. Like, just fake information being spread. But even if it is true that Venezuelans are celebrating, it doesn't change the fact that this whole situation is messed up. Because when Saddam got captured, Iraqis celebrated because people didn't like Saddam. Now Iraq is worse. It doesn't mean it's a good thing. And also, if we're gonna take the celebration to be an indication that's a good thing, then what about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah,
Lots of people celebrated him. Are
There's
you
also-
if you set the precedent that celebration of someone's death is a good thing, then you're saying that people celebrating Charlie Kirk is a good thing. You're playing yourself.
And
You
that's
know
a
what?
dangerous
more
thing,
thing.
folks.
One thing
We need-
before I head out, guys. Mustafa, now that you said the Venezuelans are coming over here, that just means one thing. That means that the Quality Learning Center is about to be bilingual. That means there's a chance I can make some money. I can make some money. Right, count it down.
It certainly adds new meaning to Felix Navidad. Okay, ladies and
There we
gentlemen.
go.
But it was great
Oh.
to have Jose on to cover these first two topics, folks. But I'll
Yeah.
just reiterate what I said before. The
Mhm.
precedent's set. We can capture foreign leaders now. You want to defend yourselves, folks. If I was a world leader and I didn't have nukes, I'd be getting nukes from somewhere.
Catch me on Cancel This Podcast later. Digny will be on with John tomorrow, being Tuesday for happy hour. And I'll be on Scooby Pup's show on Saturday. And I think right before Cancel This Podcast Thursday night, I'll be on with Master Swag King. Catch you guys later. Take it easy. Des, the floor is yours,
Cheers,
brother.
man.
Carry on, my friend.
Good. Bye for now, Jose. And it's great to have
welcome,
Des
Des.
on. And now suddenly
guys.
we will talk about other topics. Okay? Suddenly life has new meaning to me. The last time we had to deal with a Portuguese person, we had to work with the Russians. That's a historic joke for everyone. But the third topic, folks, I'll write down for an hour. 3 minutes. Sorry, we like to keep shows at around 2 hours, so if no one can get their point across, I do apologize. And 30 seconds, there we go. Third topic is very interesting, folks. Some good news. At least I hope it's good news. Apparently, GOG has gone private, as CD Projekt Red sells the site to one of GOG's original founders. Now, I always found it very interesting that a games developer and publisher creates a gaming hosting site, right? I found this interesting with Steam through Valve, because they were a games developer, games publisher, and then they got into games hosting. And I think to myself, it's a very courageous step forward, first of all. Second of all, it's not easy to do. Even the best find it difficult at times to do. And CD Projekt Red have apparently taken the decision that it's a bit too difficult for them to do moving forward, as they essentially sell out to one of the original founders of GOG, which means that CD Projekt Red is not aligned with its foundation, because they are one and the same, practically. So thank you, Elzo, for this article in question. Hopefully people won't need subtitles for you to speak any of this, because most of this, the names
No, YouTube
at
is
least.
getting better at that.
Oh, good. Well, they better. Because, folks, all of my audience needs subtitles when Helzo is speaking. I can literally track when the subtitles are in use, and it's always when Helzo is speaking. So go ahead, Helzo. Why don't you provide some context for this situation?
I hope you understand that.
No,
So the thing,
okay.
what you just said is it
you
is
speak like
actually good
Hell
news,
no.
because
speak like
CD
Mel
Projekt Red is
Ramsey.
the thing,
You speak like Mel.
because CD Projekt Red is the thing that
Don't
was
mute
kind of
me.
the cornerstone.
Don't mute me.
What the fuck
I
is
have a
going
lot
on
of
right
power.
now?
I have a lot of power.
Right there.
God.
I can do it again.
Oh, dear.
The thing is that what you said, Digny, is exactly the good news, because CD Projekt Red is the thing that was the concern with GOG, because GOG is by itself an amazing thing, not just a platform, not just a place to get games, but its mission is something that we have been missing for a long time. This is the place where you go you buy your game and you fucking own your game that you paid for. You don't rent a license. You don't rent a code. The game won't be deplatformed or whatever. You own it. You own the fucking thing. Also, just to make things a little bit more tasty for everyone, they have the preservation program and they have the enhancement program, which is basically taking an old game like from 1998 or even older and upscaling it so we can actually play it without any issues on our modern PCs. It's 1080p. It's got enhanced graphics most of the time.
Unofficial
stable.
patches.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you get all that, and you pay for that game, and you own all of it. That's the mission of GOG. This is what GOG stands for. And the only thing that they had as a possible thing that could stop them or could do them dirty was CD Projekt Red. And why? Because CD Projekt Red has been a great company before. They produced one of the greatest gaming trilogies of all time. But now they're going over to the woke side. They're basically celebrating the woke, and everybody is kind of pulling away from them. And by everybody, I mean gamers. So with GOG being tied to CD Projekt Red, this was a concern. Like, not a great concern, but just a concern. Because GOG is continuing to do the great things that it's doing. And now, when Michał Kaczynski, and sorry, I know I'm Eastern European, but the Polish names, no. Is
Well,
taking
that's
back
surprising.
GOG. Yeah, even we
I
we're
was
having
going
a
to
bad
defer
time.
to you. I was like actually going to ask, hey, Helzo, how do I say this name? Never mind.
Well, it could be Michael Kaczynski, it can be Michał Kaczynski. I don't know. I don't like Polish people. Are weird, man. Great
This
people,
is-
but with weird people. It's like
This
it's
is-
like trying to speak Hungarian. You know.
Oh no.
This
This is why I am in favor, right, of Poland being German, because at least German names are easier to pronounce.
No, trust me. You don't want a Polish person who speaks German. You don't. I've worked with such a person for 8 years. You do not want a Polish person who speaks German for a job.
You
do
want-
not.
you
This
mean
is
a
the curse. You would have moving furniture when he's trying to speak German. It's a biblical curse to have someone. like
Yeah, I also don't think the Polish want the Germans to get anywhere closer.
Nope. That's why they bought every single weapon prototype in existence. They're like they become the testing mice for everything. But anyways, back to the topic. Having one of the original founders and the co-founder of GOG just swooping in and say, "Okay, I want this back. Here's a bunch of money," and CD Projekt Red basically having their own issues at the moment, probably because of Witcher 4. Buy it. It basically, we don't want to deal with it anymore. And you have a win-win situation. You have GOG in the hands of someone who would care for it, and you have GOG out of CD Projekt Red's hands. So the risk of it going woke, going propaganda style, starting to promote games like Reloaded or Where Is Father are gone. And you're probably going to see one of the more, at least in my opinion, lasting good things in gaming for the next, at least, I hope, a decade to come. And I think that's a good thing. I think that this needs to happen more and more. And I saw someone saying that more companies should go private. Yep, especially if they're in good hands. They should. That's the thing, that when you have someone who deeply cares for what the original mission of his project that he created is, and wants to go back and just take control and ensure that that's what at least we're being presented, ensure that this mission to preserve games, especially in an age when you have spiking prices of everything, games, computer parts and everything, you have a lot of companies saying, okay, you're just buying a license, we don't want to sell you physical copies, or if we do sell you physical copies, everything is fucking live service, and once we cut the thread on that, once we shut down the servers, you're fucked. you're absolutely fucked. We don't care that you paid 80, 90, 100, $150. We don't care that you bought everything on our website. We don't care that you're a fan. You can go and get banned. And GOG is saying, well, they could come to us and you'd get banned because we're going to offer them a better thing. And if that continues, I'll be a happy gamer. But anyways, that's all I got.
Well, I'll tell you this, folks. I'm going to have a trip saying these names, right? When Marcin Iwinski and I'm just going to call you Michael, fuck it. Michael Kaczynski first came up with the idea for GOG in 2007, the vision was simple. Bring classic games back to players and make sure that once you buy a game, it truly belongs to you forever. And that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize about Steam, especially. Epic will just tell you straight up you don't own your game, okay? I mean, they built themselves around Fortnite, okay, folks? So that should tell you everything you need to know about Epic. But it's
Ubisoft's
good
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's good that GOG stands out in the crowd. Now, Steam has made it clear that they do have plans to integrate certain systems to players who bought their games. But let's face it, by the time they do that, Gabe will be dead and Steam will be the next Nintendo. So it probably won't be done well. And I think this is good, but I do think that this leads to GOG being isolated and condemned because they're now not officially part of the games industry in a way that CD Projekt Red was. It's like a big club and you ain't in it. But at least CD Projekt Red aren't like, we're going to invade GOG, we're going to kidnap Marcin and Michael, and we're going to put them on trial for not being woke enough. At least they're not doing that.
The thing is that if they're not part of the gaming industry, the way that what has been happening with the gaming industry as a whole in 2025, and what's probably going to continue happening, that's a good thing. Because in the end, what is the most important thing for such a website and such a platform to exist? People to go and buy the games. And when they're getting increasingly fucked by the other platforms, they're just going to go more and more there.
Yeah,
it will depend on the traffic, and the traffic will continue to grow. And these news, I think, are going to drive a lot more traffic.
This is a good thing for everybody to be able to at least have this one platform. If they do continue with the same vision that it started with, for people to have this one platform to fall back on, because the games industry is either going to have to fold and, get with the fucking program and stop going in the direction that they're going, or they're going to go bankrupt. It's either A or B. It's not looking like it's going to go anywhere else. These people don't learn, and it's like they get more extreme with each new failure. It's that you don't see them scaling back. You see them either doubling down, or you see them, doing what they should do, firing the people that they should be firing, getting the games to be at a point where at least it's not as blatant when it comes to ideology. But of course, there's other problems like the corporatization aspect, wanting games to not be owned individually anymore, wanting things to go the way of the subscriptions. So at least having GOG be this one thing where things are a little bit safer, it's just a good thing. Like, let's say that in the indie industry right now, it's not really an industry, but you get my point. They are not in the big club of the games industry either, and of course they could get attacked by the big boys. Steam. Let's say Gabe dies, and Steam starts some kind of tax that fucks up the indie industry. At least maybe they can move over to GOG, even though GOG is more focused on old games. The guy can change that and be like, okay, yeah, we still are all about this mission to, preserve, right, old video games, but we're also going to have give people the freedom to create their games over here, let the indie industry flourish on this platform, away from ridiculous, fucking pricing stratagems that the industry might try to use to try and bring the the indie industry under heel, and which is going to come from a lot of fucking aspects, as we just saw in December with various smaller indie games getting attacked for using AI. When it came down to it, the AI that they were using was basically tools and assistants. But they just get lumped in with the generative demon. It's everything that is supposed to be AI is supposed to be this big, bad, demonic thing. And so they're fucked. The games media just lumped them in.
Well, ask Wizards of the Coast if ideology is ruining their business. Ask Nintendo if ideology is ruining their business. Ask even Sony if ideology is ruining their business. These are three hubs which are swallowing this poison whole, and they're making bank off of doing it. I know they are the exception to the rule, especially if you look at Microsoft and Ubisoft and Square Enix, among many other examples, but not every company that is down this woke rabbit hole is losing money hand over fist. I mean, you look at Nintendo.
Most of them are losing money, and they're in a position where you are you're basically still within the trust.
Not losing money.
Nintendo is not losing money, and they're like a whole case separate, really. I mean, you even look at their games; they don't really do the same thing that Square Enix's and Ubisoft's do. But for example, Sony. What's the other one? Even CD Projekt Red is a great example, right? They're investing into these things, but currently CD Projekt Red is extremely successful. The thing is, how many games can they put out that are going to be filled with shit until people wake up and say, oh, here's Ubisoft, they make garbage. Oh, here's Square Enix, what is this? It's going to be another fucking Forspoken? No thank you. That's really the thing where a lot of these studios are at or companies, not studios, are at right now. They still might be in that middle position where people have not yet quite woken up because they haven't had that big flop yet. But I think when that starts hitting, it's going to change. But of course, Nintendo is a whole other thing. I mean, look at Pokemon Legends ZA. Game is fucking total garbage, and it sold dozens of millions of copies.
I personally think GOG has the best chance of succeeding personally, guys. When, it's not if, when Steam becomes the next devil of gaming, right? You're seeing this with Nintendo now, starting and evolving into the newest and most vicious devil of gaming. Once the old guard at Steam either retire or die out, the same will happen to them. But what's different about Steam is, right, whether we'd love to admit it or not, they have cornered the PC gaming market in that they could crush any and potentially all competitive competition, especially if they were as merciless in their activities as, say, EA was as a legacy brand or Nintendo is as of today. Never would I have imagined 5 years ago even EA being one of the nice guys in the gaming space, mainly because of the fact that everyone around them has just turned into, pardon my French, hunts. And that's what we're seeing here. And with Sony, for example, look, they've sold 85 million units of the PS5 in what, 5-6 years? If that ain't a financial success, I don't know what is, even if they haven't had many game releases. Even if that library is weak, they see it as a success and they're going to push it that way. And don't even get me started with Wizards of the Coast, man. Everything they have done could have killed that company, and it has only made them stronger. That's why they keep doubling down on changing these characters and making demons look like fucking sex toys and all that nonsense. Yes, they have done that.
Well, what works with Wizards of the Coast is that they have deals with like doing Final Fantasy versions of the Magic cards, Avatar: The Last Airbender. They have those deals that keep them afloat. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that the moment they mistake where their money is coming from, that's the big problem. The moment where they have enough hubris where they say, oh, we're making money because we are investing into wokeness, that's going to be the problem. That's where they usually start falling big time, because they don't understand that they're making money because of everything else. It's kind of what I talked about earlier this year with Oblivion. Everybody was, well, it was a big split, right? A lot of people wanted to enjoy Oblivion because it was a great game. Other people wanted to boycott it because of the body type AB situation. The reason why it sold was not because of the fucking body type AB situation. It sold because it was a great RPG, and then there was a nostalgia factor. The moment these companies think that wokeness is what's selling is the problem, but I don't even think that they believe that. I think it's like an aside kind of thing. It's a strategic thing. Like I would like to believe that they're not dumb enough where they believe that wokeness is truly selling. They just like to push a little bit, a little bit of pushing here, a little bit of pushing there, whatever they can gain ground in.
Well, tell that to the fine folks who have hung on to Magic the Gathering. They will have a different, because I happen to know a creator who is still in the Magic the Gathering circles and cannot quite frankly believe how the franchise has been utterly poisoned, but Wizards of the Coast is still making bank off of it because the majority of the people in that franchise support the poisoning. It's so disgusting. But I would like to get panel perspective. We don't want to ignore Roger and Galaxy. So we'll start off with Roger. What do you make of all this?
Pretty much, yeah, it's like what you stated. The best thing about GOG is just the whole entire realm of being able to actually own the games that you go out and purchase with. And yeah, that's the whole thing, is everybody is just getting sick and tired of like being told that, yeah, you could buy it, but you'll never own it and all that. And that's just the thing that GOG truly does stand for, is allowing the person to actually own the things that they spend their hard-earned money in order to actually own the piece of product in it. Because the other thing about it is that they've stated before is that one thing that you can do is that you can burn the game onto a disc. That way you can actually have like a physical representation of the game itself that you bought. And you're seeing, like, yeah, they have primarily been focusing more on older titles and everything, but we are starting to see more and more newer titles going over to GOG. I mean, it wasn't here till recently that the Claire Obscura Expedition 33 became available to be purchasable on GOG. Yes. And like yeah, whenever I bought it on Steam and everything, because that was the only place I could get it. But I will gladly go out of my way to purchase the game again on GOG, just for the fact that I will own it, because that right there should be the thing that should be intensifying more publishers of like, hey, you'll actually get people to potentially buy your game twice and everything. For one, if it's a good game worth buying twice. If it's the fact that if you put it out on Steam and everything, but if you put it on GOG, people will go off and buy it again just so that they can actually own it in and of itself. And that is just one thing that most video game, like looking at the thing in here that you posted up, is like, name one thing the video game industry needs in 2026.
Yeah,
it's actually being more transparent and actually working with the customers, instead of just saying like, you will just consume what we put out for you and you will like it, because if you don't, what else are you going to do? Is like, bitch, I got a backlog of games and everything that could set me for years. I don't have to buy anything new, and you are not incentivizing me of buying anything new. It's why I didn't go out and buy the Nintendo Switch 2, because of the shady practices that Nintendo's been doing and all that stuff. And I keep hearing the fanboys defending that. It's like, oh, but they make such good games. It's like, yeah, but they hate you. Nintendo actively hates you because they don't care about you, because you will just buy whatever they put out. No, you need to actually incentivize me to go out and buy your product.
So when are Nintendo going to sue Roger for making that statement? Galaxy, what do you
Probably
make of
tonight.
this situation?
Well, I just gotta have to repeat what you guys have been saying about GOG. Actually, because of the DRM free thing is actually like the reason why you would even buy stuff there, because you get to keep the games yourself. You don't have to. You don't really have to go through another party. Even though you do have to go through them to buy the game, obviously. But right, but then after that, you get to keep the game. So it's like,
Yeah.
so that's I would do that too. I just because I've already been trying to like rebuy a lot of the games I had on Steam on GOG if they're there. So there it's just a better place to have them own them on the PC. So.
Well, thank you for that, Red. What about you, Mustafa? What do you make of this topic?
Oh, well, as a game developer, I would like to see more storefronts that are good, to have more options other than Steam.
Yeah.
Because like, what was it, like a couple months ago or so, that people arguing about whether Steam is a monopoly or not, and it's clearly in the lead when it comes to PC storefronts because of many reasons. I mean, there's like a big laundry list of reasons as to why it's the best. Whether it's because of the fact that it has such a large library of games, it has great community features. Also, when people buy their games, they want to just have them all in one place rather than scattered everywhere. Like there's a whole list of things, but there's also a lot of things that, as a developer, I don't like about Steam. I don't like the fact that they have a 30% cut of revenue. Unlike Epic Games. I mean, I'm not saying Epic Game Store is good. This is not the point. But Epic Game Store, at least their cut is 12%, and the developer gets 88%, and that's a huge difference, because you also have to factor in tax as well. So Steam, Valve takes their 30 plus tax, and then by then I make a little bit over 50% of the revenue. And it's really lame seeing that the low number of the low amounts that I get from my game. I mean, of course, Valve, it's their store. They built it. They did all the hard work with the algorithm and getting people on there. So of course they deserve money. I'm not saying they don't deserve anything, but it's 30% a big cut.
Yeah, plus the place pretty much runs itself at this point.
Yeah, printing free money for them. GOG is also 30% as well. And the thing that's holding GOG back, they got a lot of things holding them back. Well, the only thing that they have that makes them look better than Steam is the fact that you own, like everyone already mentioned. Like, I hate the fact that I have like 1,000 plus games on Steam, and then once I die, legally my family is not allowed to use those games.
Yeah, exactly.
So, or if the companies decide to discontinue all those games.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, they have that. GOG has that benefit, but I don't feel like that is a big enough benefit to draw in enough people to make them, a more appealing storefront. Also, like not only for the consumers is it not really that much more appealing, but for developers, it's harder to get your game on GOG than on Steam. Steam is so easy for me to get my game on GOG. I'm sorry, Steam is so easy for me to get my game on there, but GOG, I have to send them an email, and then a real person has to read the email, and then they look at my game, and then they have to decide if they even want to reply to me or not. And then, like, I've emailed them twice. I know my game's not. I have one game on Steam right now, and it's not great. I know that. I'm not going to say it's a great game, but I'm trying to get on GOG, and they won't even reply to me. They're like, "No, this is not good enough." It's like, at least tell me it's not good enough. Epic also has an issue where it's hard to get on there as well, because they're trying to curate a good library of games. But the point being, GOG is not better for consumers. It's not better for developers. So they have a lot of stuff against them.
All these companies, guys, they all have a piece of the puzzle. I mean, why do you think everyone is suddenly using the Unreal Engine, especially, 5? It's because Epic provides one of the key incentives for developers to use that engine. And once you use that engine and use a certain amount of resources, when you host that game at the Epic Game Store, they don't take any of the damn cut because you're using their engine and you're essentially advertising their way of making games on their own platform. A lot of people rightfully condemn the Unreal Engine 5. It's like, why is this engine everywhere? Why is it being used for everything? It's because, on Epic at least, they can have a loophole to keep all of their funds as game developers, or the funds they rake in. So that's something
I believe it's
that
like
needs to be
if
pointed
the
out.
game makes over $1 million or something like that, that's when Epic starts asking for royalties.
Yes.
But yeah, you are correct that like if they use Epic, then they're like, yeah, you don't give us anything.
Well, yeah, that
And
was
it
the whole thing
provides
that
us-
that was the whole entire thing that Epic started doing whenever it first started coming out, was giving like these companies and everything these incentives. Like, we will give you an upfront amount of money to make your game exclusive on our platform. And that's how it was at the beginning, because I remember one of the first ones
It's still going on.
think of. Yeah, exactly. It was like one of the first ones I remember was that remake of this fighting game Samurai Showdown, where it was exclusive on Epic for the longest time. And then as time went on, they made the money back that they spent to make it exclusive before they even had a chance to put it out on other storefronts like Steam. That was their whole entire MO that they're still doing to this day, like Des said, because they can afford to do that because of how much of the money they get because of Fortnite.
Yes, and that's why I made it very clear to everyone that each of these companies has a piece of the puzzle. In GOG's case, the fact that you own the games you buy. In Steam's case, they've carved out most of the market in regard to PC gaming, and in Epic's case with the Unreal Engine and trying to build a hub for indie games development at an affordable cost. Put all those pieces together, and you've got something that can easily take over the games industry. Yet historically, Steam and Epic and GOG, they don't like each other. They fucking hate each other as companies. Hate each other. They want to tear each other to pieces, especially Epic. Epic are so desperate to tear apart their competition that they're willing to work with companies like Disney and Tencent to get a damn edge. And those are two gigantic red flags for two gigantically different reasons, all right? So when I look at this situation, I say to myself, best of luck to you, GOG. You're going to need it against Steam and Epic, because once Steam's old regime retires or dies, it's going to make Epic look like a puppy. Because
GOG might want to stay on the sidelines. And instead of trying
Yeah.
to compete, if I was the guy, I would just try to focus on his mission and not bother with trying to compete with the two giants, because if he tries to, he's going to be eaten up.
Well,
I think that's
the
what
thing,
he's
though.
gonna do. By the way, that's why he bought it, because I think that's basically
It's a really good thing. CD Projekt Red is going corporate. It's not just the woke stuff. It's they're losing that identity where they created GOG. So they were just neglecting it.
So if he just does what you said, they're gonna be all right. They might not be the biggest company, but they're gonna be that company that platform that you go and I want to own my games.
I know we're pressed for time, but I will make the point that if GOG does that and it resonates with people, by definition they will be competing. Right?
True.
When you enter an ecosystem, it's like nature, right? When you enter an ecosystem, you either dominate that ecosystem or you die. Unfortunately, there is no middle ground, and I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, but
as
they have
someone
the
who tries
little
to bring
old game
people
niche.
together.
They have the old game niche,
they're
right?
just
Because
gonna get that piece of the pie that
yeah, because they can't really do the new releases, many of the new releases release with DRM, so they can't even put them on their store because they say that they're DRM free. So they are, in a way, definitionally not trying to compete. Now, how if they exist as this little side thing, I think they could, go the length. Now, the question is, how can these two big companies fuck with them?
And I think that is going to happen in the years, and hopefully we live long enough for the decades. But you never know if we keep kidnapping foreign leaders. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth and final topic, which no one else will talk about, and I'll get into the reason why. 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 10 seconds. Just enough time for me to say, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Our final topic is the following. Quote, China promotes the Defiant as an anti-Japanese FPS game. China's answer to Call of Duty is essentially, let's reenact the Sino-Japanese War, but instead of the communists hiding in the mountains, we're actually going to win and take the fight to the Japanese. I know no one else in our circles will cover this topic, folks, because let's face it, most of us, not all of us, but most of us are captured by the pro-Japanese weebs, okay, folks? Whenever you talk about Japan, it's, oh, look at this great country. They're going in the right direction. They're going against all the cultural issues that we have in the West. Despite the fact that deep down, Japan is a vicious fucking country, full of vicious people. And every time you bring up their dark past, and I have experienced this, because I've communicated with some Japanese creators in my time. They don't like it when you bring up the fact that they, iced someone's hand, then boiled it, then iced it again, so that they can understand how the medicine works, okay? And I'll tell you this for a fact. They won't like this game releasing. In fact, I don't think this game would be released in Japan. I think it would be banned as a form of propaganda. And this is courtesy of a Chinese journalist, which sounds like a contradiction in terms, because it probably is. Li Zijin, quote, huge news for war game fans. A Chinese game studio released a trailer for their new anti-Japanese war game. The game is called The Defiant, by the way. It's going to fill a massive void in the genre, well, for China at least. The game includes real battles from the 14-year history of the Sino-Japanese War, which lasted from, I think it was, well, I say 14-year history. The Sino-Japanese War was from 1937 to 1945, but that's 8 years. So where are the other 6 years? The other 6 years are the Chinese Civil War between the nationalists and the communists, which ended officially in 1949, but continued in small pockets up until 1951. So play the trailer, Helzo. Hopefully we don't get struck. It's a Chinese game, so you never know.
So first of all, just yeah, that's an amazing start. I want to say something. In a time, let's say 15 years ago or 20 years ago, if this came out with the same premise, the same story and everything, nobody would give a fuck, by the way. Nobody would give a fuck. They would just say, okay, that's going to be a new Battlefield type game or a new Call of Duty type of game. And this is what I think needs to happen, because the reporter is saying anti-Japanese game. He's not saying a war game. He's not saying a historically inspired war game. He's just saying anti-Japanese. So he's already pushing that.
And who's saying that?
The Chinese. There it is. Anti-Japanese war game. He could have said just the World War II war game or conflict or historically inspired war game. No, anti-Japanese. This is already like just from the beginning. You're dropping the propaganda bombs. From
That's
this.
why I said contradiction in terms, Chinese journalist. But
Yeah,
to your point, Helzo, in regards to 15, 20 years ago, this wouldn't be an issue. This game would never be released by any other entity outside of China for a simple fact, right? We've seen so many games. Look at the Call of Duty franchise, look at the Battlefield franchise. The closest example would be Medal of Honor when they made a game, Rising Sun, in regards to America's Pacific War against Japan. That is one of the very few examples of a conflict, being represented gaming wise with in this case, the US and Japan. The reason this has never happened before, to my
you also had
knowledge,
1942, by the way, Battlefield 1942.
And isn't Call of Duty World at War also against it?
well,
So
there
you-
are. Well, there are various examples, but let's just say it's the exception. It's not the rule, okay? And there's a very important reason for that. Gaming in the West has been largely dominated by two countries, America and Japan. And do you think it's in Japan's interests to support the development of a game that puts Japanese people in a Japanese country in a bad light? The same Japanese people and Japanese country that to this day will not apologize for the massacres being depicted, no doubt, in this game, even if it is propagandized. They did massacre a lot of people, and they won't apologize
and
for
that's
it. They tortured
history,
a lot
and
of
that's
people.
history, and that's history. It's never gonna change unless someone does enough to change it and brainwash enough people to do it.
But why don't you play the whole thing? Let's play the whole thing and hope we don't get struck.
That's a good shot, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
To me, this looks like a Battlefield game, by the way. Like just watching Battlefield in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
This is Battlefield 1. Like same type of moment in the trailers.
Oh yeah.
How bad is it if I say I can't tell them apart? That's
Well,
gonna
they
strike us
can.
down.
Helzo. They can.
Dang.
Kudos to them for that.
I like how cinematic it is. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, and you had women in.
Yep.
No, she's not like butch enough.
Yeah, but that's probably due to the lack of food.
That is more
That
legitimate
actually
than you
looks
know.
nice to play. That actually looks decent enough to play. And I'm not someone who kind of likes these
from
games.
what
by the way,
from what I've seen and heard, all the first-person elements in this game are within the game engine. All the first-person elements.
我们得追求一致，
Okay.
过上舒服的生活，不是吗？看看曼德，如今的繁荣与进步，我们的都是亚细亚同胞兄弟，
okay.
共保和平，才能共荣大东亚。
But I can
周队
definitely
长
see the
已
jank.
经加入了我们，赵兄弟。
He just called you gay, Helzo.
王协军队长，
Is it just me?
By
or
the
is
way,
the audio not
I
matching
see
lips?
his lips moving and he's saying something else and he's alive.
Yeah.
That's so typical. Oh yeah, there's the jank.
You can
It's
you
gonna
can
be on
see
Steam, by the way.
yes. Yes, it is, folks. And I am of the opinion the game is called The Defiant, which is quite the name as well because of the connotations. The document the Jap was, because I am going to call them that, it is relevant to the topic. I'm not being offensive. The document he was showing to that prisoner was a document of the nationalist Chinese. So I think the plot around this is going to link heavily because it is, let's face it, a propaganda piece. It is going to heavily imply that the nationalist Chinese, Taiwan, today, are collaborating with the Japanese to keep the war going, to keep the nationalists in power. And it's only thanks to the courageous Communist Party that the Japanese occupiers were pushed back. And then America ended the war, obviously. This isn't North Korea, after all. And then, thanks to the help of the Russians, the heroic communists vanquished the nationalist forces back to the island that is now known as Taiwan. So, of course, there is a lot of propaganda involved in this title, but I do think this game is going to do very, very well, especially in China. And who knows, it might do well in the West. Because let's face it, we've never experienced in a game a situation like this. The Chinese against the Japanese. We've experienced it with the Americans against the Japanese, but not recently. So I think it's something that a lot of people might be interested in. So we're going to get a panel perspective now, and we're going to start off with Des. Des, what do you make of this topic?
Like I'm just gonna be real. I don't really relate with that sentiment at all. Like, for example, I wouldn't cover this trailer either, and I'm probably not going to be doing it because it's just not interesting to me. As I was saying earlier in the backstage before the show, this just pretty much looks like a Chinese Call of Duty type of game, and that's about it. Like, if it's real and it does come out, I will play it, of course, because if there's something that I hunger for a very long time now, it's good first-person shooter campaigns. Like, I love the Black Ops 1 campaign, the entire Modern Warfare campaign, and by that I mean the original one, like 15 years ago. So, like, I would totally be down to play it, but I really don't care if it's against the Japanese. I think that if that's really a journalist trying to market the game as just an anti-Japanese game, then they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because I mean those words mean specifically one thing. It's like you guys said, they could have just said World War II game, or specify a named war of theirs, or perhaps a time period of theirs. But yeah, I really don't give a shit about the other nonsense. Even if this is propaganda from China, they would fail massively when selling to me, because as soon as I grab the controller, I play for the escapism. So for me, this would be just like a fun Call of Duty campaign. If there's multiplayer and it's good, it would be even better. But usually whenever companies try to do shooters in multiplayer, they usually fuck up. Like X-Defiant.
This game might not be aimed at people like us, and it might be aimed at the people at their home to get them to uplift the glorious country that they live in.
In that case, we pretty much just can't do anything about it. I'm pretty sure they have way more games than this over there. When it comes to at least us out here, I wish that people did that and kept their ideologies and politics out of their minds when, tackling these games and playing them. And of course, also out of the game developers' hands themselves. Like, if you're a developer and you're doing it for an ideological reason, that's precisely what the quote-unquote anti-woke movement has been fighting against this entire time. But, I don't think people in the West specifically are going to be buying this specifically because it's against the Japanese. I don't think that's...
No, quite the opposite, Des. That's why it's going to be ignored, because of its anti-Japanese leanings, mainly because of the fact that Japan is part of the Western Alliance. That's the narrative argument I'm making in regards to the Chinese journalist, in air quotes, because that is a contradiction in terms, the narrative argument he was making, the Chinese at home are going to bloody lap that up, right? And that's why they're going along those lines, because to this day, the Chinese, the red Chinese at least, fucking hate the Japanese. You would too if they didn't even apologize for all the massacres and mass killings that took place during that conflict. And, you know, let's get a bit conspiratorial here. There's a reason a game like this hasn't been made in the West. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to correct you again, Des, sorry to dogpile, but surprisingly, a game like this hasn't been made before in China. So they really are pushing it.
I mean, in
so
general,
there you
like
go.
games that are ideologically tied to them. Yeah, games that are basically made to, let's say, promote the fucking, you know, the glory of the Chinese, what do they call it?
Communist Party.
There you go, the CCP.
Well, there you go. Let's get other panel perspectives now. Did we get Helzo's perspective? Don't want to
Kinda you
ignore
did.
you.
I just want to throw a little bit more of conspiracy your way.
Sure.
You have what's been happening in the previous topics. You have China potentially trying to win young people over to the army. And kind of, if you're a true conspiracy theorist, you're gonna say, okay, everybody's preparing for something. What's going to happen?
Well, everyone talks about. Well, everyone talks about China invading.
Lovely.
You know, everyone talks about China invading Taiwan, but no one is, oddly enough, no one is talking about China invading Japan. Whereas the Red Chinese, of course, they have obvious reasons to invade Taiwan because they see it as theirs, but they also have less obvious reasons to attack and wipe out Japan because of the historic connections. But I looked at the trailer, I looked at the discourse around it. I think it'll be a perfectly respectable game. I mean, look at its Western contemporaries. When was the last time Call of Duty's train was on the tracks? When was the last time that franchise was firing on all cylinders? Battlefield might be a
Probably
different
2019.
story. So this could fill a niche or fill a hole for Western gamers, right? Just as a fun action-adventure first-person shooter, okay? Just empty your head and enjoy the action. You'll probably need subtitles for it as well. And the vocalizers will change the subtitles to hide the clear fucking propaganda in the damn
when
thing.
you realize that you have a lot, like several Chinese games that have been a hit and are going to be a hit, like when they come out, and they're just going to entice people to say, okay, China, like things from China are good. They're not woke. They're actually good gameplay and stuff like that. And when something like this comes, you're gonna have people being mellow out and they say, okay, that's another thing, and they're not gonna think twice.
Still like Wukong, but people have to understand that Black Myth Wukong fully complied with the parameters and essential policies of the Chinese Communist Party to the letter. Yet no one brings it up. With Wu Chang, it was a different story, because Wu Chang released it without the complicit agreement of the party organization, which led to various changes to the game after the fact. And that is why Wu Chang release was a far better game than it was today, or is rather today, because of the various changes made, especially the story changes. It's a very simple premise, folks. We live in a multipolar world. I think the events of the past few days are living proof that we live in a multipolar world, because the American world captures foreign leaders, and the Chinese world, for all of its faults, and boy, does it have many, does not. So let's get Roger and Red's perspective now. Roger, what do you make of this situation, this topic?
Here's the whole entire thing that really boils down to it. it's like what I stated earlier. I don't get into like the whole political nonsense of it. I'm a retard that plays video games in his office. That's all it boils down to. It. All I want is just to be entertained with my media, and sadly, that is just what it boils down to. Is that there's just some video game companies and everything that just keeps on pushing stuff, and it's like, well, I'm not even gonna buy your game. But then you see something like that, and it's just like, if I had just seen the trailer in and of itself, without hearing like the journalist talking about being anti-Japanese and whatnot, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. I was just
Exactly.
like, oh, okay, that looks like a fun game. Am I going to buy it? No, because I'm not a fan of first-person shooters. Anybody that sees it who is a fan is like, oh, that actually looks like a fun game. I don't need to be hearing about like all the potential political leanings or whatnot whenever it comes like what the inside of developing the game was truly all about. All I want to know is that is it going to be fun? Yes or no?
I guess in Digny's perspective, that's why China is much more dangerous, for example, because, you know, we try to propagandize our games. That's what the woke movement is about, but they make shitty games. When China tries to propagandize their games, they make good games.
They got it right.
Exactly.
Like the thing is, Roger, what you said is what we used to have, like what everybody used to have, what every gamer used to have. We used to be even like you are speaking from a perspective that I'm trying to get back to, because I used to be like that. I didn't care about any of this. I was like, what was it? A normie gamer. I was just like playing games, enjoying myself. I didn't care who made it. Is it good? It's good. Now, sadly, the curse of knowledge is upon me. Like, I'm not pretending that I know more than other people, but like diving into the topics it's talking about like this is basically ruining that experience. And I'm approaching everything, every game, every new release, every remake cautiously. I don't get optimistic about remakes anymore. That's the bad thing. I don't get optimistic. I cannot get fully. I cannot just go, oh, fucking yes, Gothic 1 is getting remade. I'm fully optimistic about that. I cannot do that because then I read some stuff and I was like, oh, fuck. I better not get my hopes up because I don't want to get hurt again. And
they cast Bruce Willis as a hooker.
Yep. And that's the curse of the knowledge between good and evil. And look, a lot of people rightfully praised Black Myth Wukong for being a triumphantly entertaining game, but at its core, it was the perfect example of Chinese communist gaming in action. Propaganda so effective that you can't even see it.
And also, just going into what you were talking about before, Digny, about how people are going to see that tweet, X post, whatever it's called nowadays, about the journalist calling it an anti-Japanese game and whatnot, and how people aren't going to cover it. I can say this willingly. It's just like, I am somebody who is heavily into my Japanese media and Japanese stuff. I mean, for crying out loud, I bought a $200 metal poster off of one of my favorite Japanese animes of all time.
God damn.
Yeah, I am willing to admit, the Japanese did some fucked up shit.
Oh yeah, they really did, man.
Now they got to make kawaii stuff to make up for it.
I don't even care about what that is. But let's get
big titties.
Oh,
and cute little eyes and big titties.
Well, maybe it's to lure the Reds into a trap. But what about you, Galaxy Red? Oh, speaking of Red, what do you make of all this?
Well, I mean, it looks like the game looks all right, I guess, but I'm not really much of a first person type of guy anyway, especially this type of games like war games and stuff. So, I mean, I'll play some games like that, but I'm not really interested too much in it. But yeah, like we were talking about this before the show a little bit, where like a lot of people were saying it was like anti-Japanese or whatever. But I mean, it's just like, I mean, they have done bad stuff back then, so it's not like it's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really a regional thing. I mean, a lot of Europeans and Americans, I think Americans to a lesser extent, but a lot of Westerners in current day don't understand how historically despised the Japanese are across East Asia, China, Korea, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, the Philippines, because, of the things that they did, the heinous thing that you can't
Mhm.
talk about on YouTube, by the way. If you mention, melting and freezing bones for medical science, that's a dark and dangerous road. But
In
Mustafa,
Minecraft.
did we get your perspective on this? What was that, Des?
You just gotta say it and then add Minecraft.
Oh dear! But Mustafa, have you given your thoughts on the
Not yet.
situation?
So
Go ahead,
I mean,
then.
my thoughts
Go ahead.
on this is well, going at a different angle from what's already been discussed. This game looks pretty impressive. Not fidelity wise, fidelity looks kind of bad. Like their faces don't look very good, and due to that, the fact that it looks like a good game despite it having not cutting or bleeding edge graphics, you know that they're developing this on a lower budget. Like they definitely don't have like hundreds of people working on this. It's probably sub 100 developers as far as the size of the studio. That's my guess, just from looking at how the game looks. So whatever they sell, they're going to make money off this, and I feel like seeing games like this, which has like a very impressive looking trailer, a lot of cinematic stuff, a lot of different exciting sequences. Seeing this trailer, as well as seeing how they were very successful. When I say they, I'm talking about like China as a whole. And I know it's I'm just clumping them, but like as far as game development within that region, that's what I'm referring to. But like they had Black Myth Wukong was doing very well, and also a lot of people forget Marvel Rivals. NetEase is Chinese, so they're starting to really move towards AAA game development rather than just having mobile games with Tencent. So they're really starting to move towards that direction, which for the most part, it's only been Japan, and within Asia, it's only been Japan that's had anything going on with AAA, and now China is really starting to move in that direction. We don't see, in other areas in Asia, like in India, despite India having tons of very competent programmers and engineers. Like a lot of the people who go into video game development in India, they end up in mobile game development. Like there's yeah.
Not redeem. Do not redeem, sir. Do not redeem.
I'm sorry.
So
you do make a great point there, Mustafa, in regards to the developments. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, like aside from like looking at the rest of Asia, that not really going to AAA game development, the only other area in Asia that I feel like is like really starting to, not yet, but they're going to start getting really into AAA game development, is Saudi, or for you non-Arab speakers, Saudi Arabia. They're gonna get, of course, with them purchasing.
They got EA now.
Yeah, EA.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of very subtle propaganda coming from Chinese games, coming from EA games.
Muhammad Effect.
Oh damn!
I think they're very smart businessmen. The Saudi royal family, they're not going to be that on the nose with their propaganda. They're gonna release good games, and their propaganda is going to be extremely subtle, and the propaganda will be there, guaranteed. China's going to do the same thing. They're going to have you get used to, here's Black Myth Wukong, amazing game. Like, you don't see any kind of propaganda. You're gonna start trusting them, and then next thing you're gonna play some other game, and then it's gonna make you think about like, hey, why do I all of a sudden not like this country that's these
I don't think you're even gonna ask that, because it's gonna be so subtle that it's gonna infest your mind, and you just I don't like them. Yeah, I'm sure that I never liked them.
Just by having the open doors, it's a big thing, right? Just by not being that weird country that we see as like, oh, it's one of those countries. We don't get anything from them. But then if they're in the market, they suddenly become familiar.
Come on, guys! I think we should carpet bomb Yemen to oblivion. Come on, come on!
That was a really good game. Let's bomb
good. Yeah, the thing is that this is the bad thing about gaming. By the way, this is the sad truth, that gaming is more and more heavily going to be used only for these purposes. I'm not saying that it never was before, but we used to have gaming for games, like games for gaming. We didn't have games for propaganda. And when we did have military games, we had something like Battlefield 1942 or Vietnam, which is basically a team co-op game or a team single player game, and you just do whatever you can on that mission or another mission. You have campaigns and stuff like that. It wasn't something brutally propagandic. And
for a long time we had America's Army. America's Army was a very popular game for a very long time.
This would lead into a really interesting conversation. Like we could, of course, the show's probably almost at the end, but this could be a big fucking topic, because you could talk about like, what do we even consider propaganda from our side? For example, would we look at older Call of Duty campaigns and consider them propaganda? Like maybe. No. Right, but now with a new perspective, with this new the problem is that the well is fucking poisoned, and now nobody can do anything without somebody coming in and saying, "Oh, you're using propaganda." Like if we get like a new game and the enemies are the Russians, you could be like, "No, this is history. This is the Cold War." But they're like, "No, this is anti-Russian propaganda now because the fucking well is just poisoned," and I don't know where we're gonna go.
The bad thing is that with this kind of mindset, you can expand towards any game. You can go to World of Warcraft and say, this is actually propaganda against different races. You can do that. I've heard people do that.
Yeah, that's what the woke do. They look at Lord of the Rings and they say that it's racist.
That's the slippery slope that everybody's going for.
There's a reason the Mercenaries franchise doesn't exist anymore, because its main settings were North Korea, invading North Korea, and the second one was invading Venezuela.
God, well, what a coincidence.
Yeah. And how did
a coincidence?
You see, mercenary games always end in the same way, right? You beat nearly everyone, then the leader of the country tries to launch a nuclear weapon. They did it in the first game with North Korea, and they did it in the second game with Venezuela. Actually, in the second game, they actually fired one, which led to everyone running away. And then the main character, one of the three, has to go stop the Venezuelan leader from launching nuclear weapons at, guess where? America! So maybe Donald Trump was playing Mercenaries 2 with Barron, saw that and was like, oh shit, we gotta capture Maduro to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, folks. Okay. I do understand Dez's mindset though, because historically most gaming has been Western, and most Western things are, you've guessed it, pro-Western, whether they know it or not. The best propaganda is the propaganda you don't notice. Case in point, the best propaganda is the propaganda where if you question it, suddenly your life is ruined. You have no bank account. You have no job. You have no car.
A little thing under your YouTube video says, actually, click on this Wikipedia link to find out more about this topic.
Yes. And then suddenly, for no reason at all, your head blows off. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours, 11 minutes, dead. which is what we will be if we keep going down this path. Future plans, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, the network has a great contingency system to survive such instances.
Everybody's replaceable.
Helzo, what are your future plans?
Well, after New Year's, I'm trying to rework what I'm going to do with my channel because I really do need to kind of shift the things into more video production and less streaming, even though streaming is kind of the best way for certain stuff. But I do need to also get in moving towards topics and try to get the channel to where it was before in terms of video production. Other than that, still playing games. I have the new PC. Looking forward to being approved for a kind of a long vacation so I can finally get a good game development 2-week course in my system and start doing what I really want to start doing. Other than that, currently preparing for a concert on the 16th, and pretty much that's it. It's basically a new year, it's new challenges, and so some things are just all the same old and increasingly shitty stuff.
All right, then. Well, that's good to know, Helzo. Hopefully you have a fantastic 2026, assuming we survive this year. Because if the first week is any indication, we may not.
Get the
Roger,
popcorn ready.
Roger, are you popping corn or are you popping these nuts for your future plans?
And oil wells.
Well, due to my new job that's going to be coming up, and considering how much of a vastly different change it is for what it was that I was doing, where it was during the evening time when I was doing it, now being fully night, I'm going to have to figure out exactly how I want to proceed with the channel going forward. One thing that we did decide to change was over on the Rustic Rollers channel, where we do our tabletop gaming and everything. We aren't going to be doing it live streaming anymore, but instead we're going to have them be videos that'll be edited down. That way there's not so much dead air and everything, and going over like technical rules of like stuff that's currently going on in it. It'll just be a streamline of the campaign itself that is going on in that video.
Yeah. So like I said, a recorded session.
Yes. But yeah, just like I said, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to proceed going forward with this whole brand new job and everything, and how I want to proceed with the channel going forward.
Well, best of luck to you, Roger, becoming an oil baron in Venezuela. What the fuck is this?
What?
Sounds like some bullshit. Looks like some bullshit. Sounds like some bullshit too. J Viper made this?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The Portum.
What the fuck is this? Oh no. If this succeeds, everyone in our circles is going to start their own AI channel.
Yep. We already have people, and I know some creators who are thinking about that as well.
Des AI, Sabr AI, Gal AI, Roger AI, so it's going to eat everything.
AI.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Hell's Eye. Yeah, that's, oh, Jesus. Everything's going to have a fucking eye in it, and it's going to have AI pictures of eyes.
What exactly is he even making?
He's making pro-Western, let's destroy
my God, that looks like shit.
AI propaganda.
Oh my fucking God.
Hey, look.
Listen, man.
They were celebrating this.
I think that J Viper is a good man. However, if this content takes off,
only I can subscribe to him.
If this content takes off, I will believe 100% that there's an AI psyop on YouTube.
Oh dear. Viva! Oh no, Furious Dan.
Which one? Which
No.
Oh,
one?
this is gonna be lovely.
No, Furious Dan. No. Guy can't even spell Venezuela. Never mind find it on a map. Oh no, I've just noticed something as well. His daughter recently joined the armed forces, and I saw an X post saying you'd have to be a moron to join the American armed forces. Oh, poor Furious Dan and his lovely daughter. She's going to be an engineer. So good luck with that. Galaxy, what are your future plans?
I'm gonna be playing Psychonauts tonight, and then rest of the week more streams. That's about
Good.
it.
Good, very good. Are you also going to make pro-American, like Iraq 2.0 AI propaganda?
No, I don't do I don't do the AI stuff anyway.
Let-
I mean, I
let's
have
put it
one
this
thing.
way,
I have
Alex.
one thing on my channel that's AI, and it's not really a big deal.
Let's put it
So,
this way: if you were getting approximately $7,000 per upload, would you do it then? Hypothetically.
sure, if everyone wants to know about it.
All right then. Well, I'll get you a plane ticket to Tel Aviv, and we'll make something happen. How about you, Des?
No.
What are your future plans?
I'm gonna be starting an AI channel tonight, and now I'm gonna be I also need to focus more on the channel, so I'm gonna be doing some things, see if I can improve, and also maybe start streaming sooner or later, but just be video games, basically, just playing some games while commentating. And aside from that, I'm editing a video right now of the top 10 worst games of 2025. Lots of memes, lots of shenanigans in it, so anybody want to check that out, it'll be up later tonight or at the latest tomorrow early in the day.
Okay.
Dustborn better be on that fucking list.
Which
I
one?
don't care if it was. I don't care when it was
Dustborn.
released. It better be on
That
that list.
shit's from 2024.
Is it?
but I have 2025's Dustborn in it if you're interested.
Oh God, no. But thank you for that, Des. What's Mustafa's future? Oh, I just remembered what I was going to say to Mustafa. You know,
Yes.
there's one Saudi Arabian game I would never play, and that's if they made an aircraft fighting game. Because the final mission, they're going to
Oh,
be two
come on. I was thinking about what's the problem? What is he talking about? And now he's talking about a final mission
Well, of course,
in an
like
aircraft game.
like Ace Combat 7, where you have to go through the tunnel. But in Saudi Arabia 7, you've got to go sideways. You've got to go sideways and through the tower. Right?
Can you imagine if it was instead of an Ace Combat game, if it was more like a Gran Turismo but for planes? And and in the beginning of Gran Turismo, you have to drive to learn how to get a license.
Yep.
So you'd have to fucking dodge those two things.
And if you
in your
hit
plane.
hours, there's a special ending, and it just shows 9/11 footage.
Wow.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Mustafa,
We're gonna get
what are
canceled.
your future plans?
I mean, I guess since it's 2026 plans, I mean, I decided I'm gonna start training like I'm training for something like war or a fight or something like that because I used to be
Going to
2 years,
Pakistan for this
2 years ago I was ripped
Mustafa.
and I did everything so much better. I was a harder worker. I was like when I was ripped, everything was good. So I need to get back to training like I'm about to get ready for a fight. So while with that said, I have like these goals for like, you know, like that would lead me to progress my career and like, you know, applying for jobs and all sorts of stuff, Upwork gigs, etc. So I'm gonna be really busy, trying to not be broke anymore. And with that said, my YouTube channel, like everyone gave their YouTube channel update, but my YouTube channel, I'm basically doing like the opposite of everybody else. I'm doing more streams and less videos because videos take so much time. It takes like a whole day for me to make one video. And when I do streams, like it's a 90 minutes stream plus the prep time, which is about an hour or so. So, you know, like that, that's why I'm going to focus for the next 3 months, at least just for 3 months. I'm going to focus on just live streams, which I do. I'm trying to schedule them for Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So whatever that converts to your time. And it's only 90 minutes long. I try not to keep them too long. But that's basically what I'm doing with my channel for now. Unless something crazy happens in the video game world, and I'm like, I really got to do a video on this topic, I'm going to just avoid doing full edited videos for, just a short while.
Nice.
My good man.
Nice. Hopefully it pans out with the streaming.
Thanks.
You're an Iraqi living in America. Of course, something insane's going to happen.
I just had to share this, by the way.
Oh, God.
100% what?
Of Americans can't even pinpoint Venezuela on this map.
Oh, here's a question for everyone watching, just to end the show. Out of all these countries, 2 of them were gang raped by Portugal. Guess which 2?
and pinpoint them if you can.
They were so well gang raped by the Portuguese that the United States and the Soviet Union had to work together to beat fucking Portugal.
Man, that's depressing.
Don't
look at us now. We're cucks.
Don't ask me that stuff. I already said earlier I was retarded.
Roger, you can't even spell Portugal. Never mind, find it on a map.
No, I can't.
And the answer, folks, is Angola and Mozambique. Portugal fought them along with South Africa and Zimbabwe, back when it was called Rhodesia. They worked with the Portuguese against the rebels, the Americans, the Cubans, and the Soviets. The Cold War was fucking insane. But thank you for that, Astro Tipper, also known as Astro Stripper. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 18th and most likely last episode of Discuss Things.
That was a map of Africa? I thought it was a map of India.
No, it wasn't a map of India, because a map of India is covered in shit. But
okay, yeah, this is definitely the last episode now. So
It's been nice.
Happy New Year, everyone!
Look, that's what I like about this show, is because we're doing this as it's going to be our last time every time, which brings all the best from us, all the crazy shit that we stuck to. And if it is the last time, thank you.
There is a reason I know this show will last longer than Friday's show, because Helzo has more courage than Dash. I love Dash to death, but when we covered the Somali topic with Dash, he was scared shitless.
My spirit animal is a honey badger, and if you know anything about honey badger, is that we don't give a fuck. Everything that we've talked about, especially the first 2 topics, the only thing that I will do when things escalate is just go on top of the hill that has the bomb shelter underneath. I'm not gonna go into the bomb shelter. I'm just going to eat my popcorn and watch the sun rise from the north.
There's only one time Helzo's like, oh no, we've got to stop this. And that's when I speak like Bella Ramsey. Why did you mute me? Hell no, I want to be smarter than them. I want to be smarter than them. I was in the Latinberg and Game of Thrones.
That's only because I wanted to get my point across, but yeah. we can have this as the end.
Thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Yes, they feed Bulgarian pussy, but they also help in other ways.
That's a good pussy.
So
thank you very much for watching.
Time, if there is one,
Bye
for now, folks.
Bye,
Cheers.
guys.